Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the bakery. I'm excited to be able to start off our official broadcast for the Loafland Tournament of Champions Season 2. And kicking it off, we got some co-commentators with me today. We got Maceo and hopefully soon to be Thrandomir. Maceo, how you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful. I am happy to be here on this sunshiny, wonderful Saturday evening at the Summoner's Rift here. Two very good teams here today.
Oh, yeah. These guys have been practicing. I know for a fact one of our team leads over here has been doing nothing but spamming scrims left and right. We got JDS versus Team Meow.
Jax's Daycare service versus Nyan Garde. Not the greatest of names, we'll be honest here, but two titans on the field here, if that's what you would call them. For those that may not be aware, would you mind explaining the rules of picking your teams and how the tournament is really routed?
Yeah. So, guys, we got plenty of teams that we can look at. And as we're talking about the rules, let's go ahead and take a look at all of our teams really quick. So if we pull over to our standings, we got ourselves a total of 10 teams ready for the competitive series, all playing this weekend. Only 2 of which tonight are going to be showcased, but just know all these players and all these teams have been working hard, and they're ready to win their victories this weekend. But with these 10 teams, each one of them is going to be playing a round-robin Swiss version as the weeks go on. So every team will play every team at least once. And after so, we'll add up all the points, and the top 8 teams will move on to playoffs. Top 4 teams will get a free win and enter first in the winner's bracket. Lower 4 teams will be entered into the loser's bracket immediately. And from there, it's full knockout best of 3 playoffs until the very grand finals, which will do a final best of 5. It's going to be an exciting run, and we'll be doing that over the weeks. And as we move forward in those weeks, we'll be showcasing a match or 2 every single weekend. So you guys can always tune back in and see the updated scoreboard, see how our teams are doing, and come spectate and cheer on your favorite competitor. It's going to be a great run.
That is right. And of course, this is more of a friendly tournament here for fun, haha moments. Now, we could have just made it to where all the Masters players could play together. We wanted a little bit of competitiveness into this tournament, though, so all of the players were assigned a point system based on their rank currently and from last season, 13 being the highest points for a Masters player, all the way down to 0 for Iron. Each team had a maximum of 30 points, not including their sub. In case they needed to come back in, they would need to meet that 30-point requirement. But for those 30 points, you could pick anyone you want. You want 2 Masters and 3 Irons? Go for it. All golds, anything you want. And that's how all the teams were assigned. And hopefully we can see some good matches here. Hopefully not too lopsided as we see some of the potential diamond players in this lobby as well.
Yeah. It's a great strategy to take in, and it's honestly something you got to prioritize on. You know, just like Macy was saying, do you want one really solid player, your master player in your bot lane role, to carry your team to victory? Do you want to spread your team out to where everybody's a platinum level or gold level? Everyone's got a pretty good idea of what's going on. And it's led to some pretty interesting strategies from each team. You know, different players and different roles have been prioritized. We've seen some teams where they pick their mid laner as their highest MMR, and I think that's usually the standard route that most teams went with. Usually people have like a emerald or a diamond level player. But I've seen some where they've decided to prioritize all 3 lanes and make the jungler low elo. I've seen people do the exact opposite, where their jungler is their high elo player, and each of the lanes are kind of a little bit lower, with the idea that the jungler is going to kind of cover and help keep up pressure in each of the lanes. So it's an exciting way to really look at the game from a different lens, because I think a lot of times what we do is we load up for solo queue and we're placed around players that are relatively similar to our level. Whereas something with this tournament is that part of the strategy is before you even get into champ select, which players do you want on your team? And we had a huge free agent showcase just a few weeks ago where a bunch of our free agents got to hop into and showcase their talents, and the team captains just sniped them up. We saw so many of the players from that tournament get entered into a team just a few weeks later, and including myself as one of the competitors. I was able to take 2 of those players and add them to my team as well. So it's exciting to be able to see a bunch of new faces and a bunch of familiar faces at the exact same time.
Yes, and regarding this match in particular, it'll be more interesting to see these 2 more leveled out. We, of course, do have 1 Masters player on the side of XRS. I believe that side is for... Well, I'm not saying Nyan Cats this whole time. I'll just call him Meow. On the side of Meow's team there, we do have a Masters player, but the rest of the team kind of balances out more towards that gold, silver, platinum area. We'll see how the team really... revolves around this Masters player, if they'll be able to put the entire team on their back, or if they'll be able to play around their team and bring out the best in each and every lane.
Yeah, the Masters player is actually on JDS. Is the got him reversed.
Oop.
That's okay.
Names are hard.
Yeah, there's 10 players to juggle and a bunch of subs that are on these roster sheets, so we got a lot of things that we're juggling around. But yeah, I think it's definitely their priority. That you can tell they have a bronze support and a silver mid laner, so definitely what we would consider the lower elo of the average bracket. So we'll see if XRS has the skill required to carry his team. Something that he has going against him, though, is a well-balanced roster. I don't think there's a single player on the enemy team that we would really consider bad. You know, Lord of Penguins being the team captain of Team Nyan Garde. He did a really good job at balancing his team out well. Now, he did prioritize playing with his friends, as a lot of players do. So definitely one of the big focal points of his team is good vibes and good fun. But I know for a fact that all four of his teammates, they've been playing scrims, they've been practicing in games, they've been doing VOD reviews. They are not taking this game lightly. They want to see that victory screen, and they've been preparing for it every step of the way. And
yeah, let me tell you those. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, and then meanwhile on the enemy team, we got Brynny, also known as Roll for Initiative, who stacked his team a little bit differently, kind of realizing himself as that lower elo, not really worth a lot of points player. He used that to his advantage, sniped himself up a Masters tier player and a Platinum top laner as well. Blade King unranked currently, but historically has usually been around a gold elo. Sometimes bounces up to that Platinum elo every once in a while, but pretty consistently gold. So it's going to be a really exciting, bloody game. Blade King especially is really well known for these like high engage, high bloody picks. Loves things like Briar and Viego. Lots of early ganks and lots of kills. Doesn't really just take the flash and run. So that'll be an exciting first couple minutes of the game, I'm hoping. As maybe XRS gets funneled within the first couple minutes. We'll have to see what their strategy leans towards.
Yeah, and I'll be very interested to see how the draft is going to really pan out for both of these teams here. Will they follow the meta, so to say, watching LCS or LCK, seeing a lot of really ADCs in every lane that isn't in bottom lane, Corki and Tristana in mid lane, maybe Vayne top, something like that? Or will they go on their own path, just play what they feel comfortable with, and can really succeed in trying their hardest to remain focused on the team rather than the champions themselves? I'm very interested to see how this draft is going to play out. We'll see it in just a second. The players themselves are on a separate website in order to do a proper tournament draft. So we'll see that shortly. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how these guys are really going to think through this draft and how they're going to play it out.
Yeah, and it looks like they're currently using a third-party website for their first draft, which is cool, totally within the rules. They'll be recreating their draft for us so that we can have access to it for the stream. So while they're doing that, we're just kind of waiting by. It also works out well for them. Some of the players don't own every single champion. We do have players who have only been playing for a few years, which is honestly kind of a funny notion to say, well, if you've only been playing for 3 years, of course you don't own the champions. But it is the reality of League. When you have 140-something champions, it takes a couple years under your belt to finally unlock them all. So they're doing third-party for now, but both teams have been instructed to recreate the draft as close as they can in client so that we can all see it for ourselves. So we're just waiting idly by. It works out well for us, too. We're still waiting for our third caster, Thrandomir, to hop in and join us. I'm hoping he's online soon. I haven't seen him pop in, but he did message me to say he's hopping on.
Hopefully we do see him soon. We are 15 minutes past the call time, but we'll see exactly how that works out. Personally, I think only very recently I was able to get every single champion. I'm saving one. I'm not purchasing Teemo. It's never going to happen. But besides him, I think I only, maybe about a month or two ago, after playing since Season 3, I finally got every single champion. Very excited to not touch any of them and just go Akali every single game. But, luckily for some of these players, they do have that tournament draft. Like you said, they're able to really play whatever they want, whatever they need, regardless of whether they have the champion or not. But we are going to be jumping into that tournament draft here. I'll let you lead it off.
Yeah, so both teams have already finished this draft, so hopefully we get to move a little quickly through it. Hopefully they're not spamming their buttons, though. I'd like to be able to talk about it a little bit. But I think some of the prio picks that we're going to see banned out here, Blade King definitely usually soaks up some early bans. A Viego or a Briar, Ivern. He definitely plays Ivern. It's definitely more of a support role, more of a funnel pick. So we'll see if Blade soaks up some more bans here. I'm curious to see how many ADCs they take out from XRS. A lot of our high elo players tend to get banned out from time to time, but they also play almost every single champion in the game. So, sometimes players just say it's not worth banning out 2 or 3 knowing that you can't eat the rest.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest issues that we had in some of our scrims. We played against a Masters mid lane, known for either being able to play very strong mages or very strong split pushers. We ended up banning 4 out of 5 for him. He picked Fiora mid. We did not expect it. He ran over us. One of the craziest games I think I've ever played. I'm excited to see exactly what they're going. They actually decide just to go triple jungle here. Ivern, Poppy, and Amumu. And we see here very quickly the 1-2 Misfortune Renata. Very interesting 1-2, as we see it's kind of countered by Ash Braum there.
Yeah, good pick from our blue side over here. I think Ash Braum is such a good combo pick, especially against that Misfortune like you were talking about. Misfortune's ult basically just gets mitigated by a single Brahmi, and it's really hard for her to deal with something like that. You also have things like the Maokai who get body blocked by the Braum, so ideally no one in the front back line is getting locked down so easily. Ash also has the auto attack reset with her Q. It's just a really great combo. From the looks of it, they went with the Renata pick so that if Misfortune gets jumped in on, she doesn't inherently die. Not a bad pick, but considering that they haven't picked any frontline assassins, I'm guessing it's more of a dissuasion than it is an actual counter pick. But it could also just be a simple comfort pick.
And Mordekaiser is actually something that I was very interested to see if they were going to do some AP top laner to kind of balance this out, because I'd imagine they'd want to counter that Galio who's likely going mid with some, once again, ADC in mid lane. Tristana was already banned out. Corki is still open though. I wonder if Team Meow's mid laner does play Corki here. We'll have to see what the 5 is. It is actually Lucian.
Interesting.
No, Lucian mid works.
Yeah.
That is another ADC that is prevalent. Very good early game, able to punish Galio. The issue is we're going to have to see how well that Lucian can play around the Sejuani Galio double melee mid lane. You usually see something like that in top. Hopefully, we can see very strong movement coming in from the Sejuani. Very tanky on JDS's side on the left here. 4 kind of tank / bruisers we'll kind of consider set in that scenario. Braum, Galio, Sejuani, kind of putting all of the eggs in the Ash basket here. Not a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's definitely a good strategy if you trust your ADC. And I'm considering that we have our master player lined up in that role. I think this is definitely a protect the castle kind of vibe. Ash does have a good way to scale. Not the most high scaling ADC that we have in the roster, but definitely can scale out pretty well. Things like Bork and things like Kraken are naturally good at tank busting, so the Mordekaiser and the Maokai, they're going to be dealing with a lot of damage. And now we got the 3-minute spectators delay. We get a little bit more time to talk. I like the triple Freljord, and it's not just because of the thematic theme. It's simply because they are really good at synergizing with one another. Sejuani stun into the Braum stun, or even Ash stun into Sejuani stun. Like, they have a lot of ways to start a fight and to get a pick. They don't have to dedicate their entire roster just to get a kill. Whereas it seems like on Nyan Garde's side, they really are an all-in kind of comp. If Maokai hits that R and they don't capitalize, they have no other way of engaging a fight.
Well, it could be technically true there. Maokai is one of the biggest fight starters, and there is a lot of peel on this side of JDS here. The big thing that I was looking at on that Ash pick is that Mordekaiser exists, and you can no longer cleanse his ultimate. So if that Mordekaiser gets on the Ash, even if he doesn't necessarily win the 1v1, which he usually will, Ash doesn't really have a lot of dashes or ways to get away from that QE. It's going to be a 4v4 in which there's 2 ADCs versus 4 tanks. That's going to be a bit of a problem, especially when all the eggs is in that Masters player with all the mechanics. Fighting a Mordekaiser who could just build tank and sit in front of the Ash for 7 seconds. That's 7 seconds of a team fight in which Misfortune and Lucian just have free reign on these tanks.
Oh, yeah. Misfortune's building that LDR for sure. You know she is. So all that armor that they're going to try to stack up, it's not going to be as relevant. I think the Lucian pick is honestly really good here, not only for what you were just talking about, but it's also a really strong counter to that Galio pick. Galio naturally wanting to go against those mages and taunt them. You're not going to want to taunt that Lucian with press the attack and get yourself chunked out trying. So it sucks for iPod Man having to be the first pick on his team. He's probably going to have to rely on pushing the wave and ganking side lanes, so that's going to be tough. And Blade on Sejuani is honestly something I want to talk about as well. Not a common pick that we see him on, so I'd be curious to go and look at his match history to see if maybe he's been practicing on it. Usually we see him on those like bloody engaged junglers like I was talking about earlier, the Viego, the Briar, things like that. And neither of which were banned out, meaning that him and his team, they were cooking up this Sejuani before they hopped in the call.
That is true. It's gonna be hard for him to get the push out on someone like Lucian, though. If the Lucian's paying enough attention, if he sees the Galio just putting Qs down on the minion wave, he can take the choice of either walking up to Galio directly. The trade is not going to be in Galio's favor in the slightest, or he can just use the Q on the wave himself. He's going to beat out that Galio push, honestly, from levels 1 to 9, I think, is when Galio's Q can one shot. If he's going AP, if he's going tank, that number is going to be even worse. It's going to be very hard for Galio to get anything done without the help of Sejuani, though. If that Sejuani can make some moves in mid lane, shut down the Lucian, or at the very least stop him from fully pushing the turret every single time, maybe we can see some movement from that Galio. But we're going to have to see as we jump into the game here.
Yeah, Macy, if you don't mind, I made you a moderator in my chat. Would you mind starting up a poll for the people in the chat? Which team do you think is going to take this victory as we're loading in here?
Oh, my brother, I have not done moderating in a while.
I couldn't tell you how to do it. I just know that I tried last time and Thrandomir laughed at me because I couldn't figure it out.
I get it.
But looks like, I'm seeing a 5-man walk through the top lane. Not a very common grouping strategy, but very effective to get a single pick. And with that Braum passive, 1 Q equals a death, especially with a 5-stack like that. Mordekaiser sees them. He's backing out, and the volley doesn't connect. Yeah, he's going to be able to walk away clean. Drops the ward in the bush just in case, and nothing's really going to come about that. Nyan Garde doing a good job at just kind of 5-manning it across the map, doing a 5-point, making sure that they know exactly what JDS is trying to keep up with. And, yeah, they're just going to move themselves back.
And it seems as though the chat can only see the tournament draft. If you can switch over to...
Oh, did it not change over? What the heck? Why is this not full screen capturing? What the heck? There it goes. It literally,
Game chat.
What the heck? It literally just didn't want to capture the full screen. That's interesting. Well, apologies for that. But we're right off to the first round of the game. Nothing crazy happened, just a couple of wards, making sure the jungle tracking is online. We had an attempt for an invade through the top side, but nothing came about it. And looks like right out the gate, our top laner Bruisers are taking a little bit of a level 1 trade. Mordekaiser, getting that Q off makes it all worth it.
Lock in for me. I'm making your...
making the vote.
I'm making your...
Oh, you're
vote.
Good. You're good. I can chat here. There's not a whole lot going on. Yeah, right now we're seeing just about what I expected. Level 2 push over from the bot lane. Let's see if they can make a capitalize on that. XRS and Roll for Initiative doing a good job of just kind of hanging back under that tower, not letting them get too much damage out. Meanwhile, Holly in the mid lane really just chunking out that Galio. Already got the health pots running. And this is exactly what you expect from the Lucian into the Galio. Just tons of damage. He does have Blade King in the wings, though, sitting there taking the Raptors. So Blade King might be able to wrap around and punish Holly for this extended up. But right now he's pathing up, and both bot lane and mid lane are getting shoved in. And the one lane that he wants to try to gank up towards the top side is pushed into the Mordekaiser. So I guess it's just going to have to be a full clear. No. Looked like he's on his way into the mid lane. Let's see if we can get some action coming from him.
Lucian not too aware of what's going on. He does have flash, and the Galio is extremely low. He might be able to just walk out here. He will get the stun off. Dash is there. Maokai's there to help. No sums needed. And they might actually be able to turn it around here. No, Galio does know, walks away. Just good damage on to the Lucian. Makes it a bit harder for him to fully push out that lane. Galio might be able to take some funny little trades, close out the round, or close out the kill there. Playing a lot of Valorant. My apologies. In the bot lane here, we'll see that the Ashe actually is going to be able to force out the flash from the Misfortune there. I'm very surprised that she walked up while Renata went away to just go ward. A bit of an oversight from the Misfortune there. And in the top lane, we actually see, should he have double up? No, he does not have his W up. Set just wins outright.
Just punches him in the face and takes him out. What a clean
Maokai
kill.
just a little bit too slow on the punch there, but I'm not really going to blame Maokai on that one. Taking the fight there without your W up, kind of criminal from the Mordekaiser there, just not respecting Set's damage. His level 1, 2, 3 is actually insane. The base damage on Set's abilities extremely high.
It's also unnecessarily greedy. Picken had TP up, so there was no need to force himself into a situation to push that wave. He definitely could have backed out, lost a couple minions, and just TP'd right back into lane. Would you still be at a disadvantage? Of course. But would you be at a position where you can die? No. And really, that's all you can try to do in situations like that, is just try to mitigate your loss rather than leaning into it. So, flash forward from Ashe. Goes in, gets the cleanse off. Not going to be taking too much damage here. Braum passive, 1, 2, 3.
Gets the stun off.
Oh,
it's actually not enough.
Not quite enough. Not even with the bailout. Doesn't need it. Good job to DG, Dr. Guillotine, getting the double kill on the Misfortune. Not really sure what happened there. XRS definitely had the damage starting off. Must have misclicked a minion or something. I swear they could have easily killed off that Misfortune, even with the bailout.
Nah, the Ignite was placed on. I actually really liked the idea coming in from Ashe there, recognizing that the Misfortune didn't have flash, no real way of escaping. Just not enough damage to pull it off there. I didn't see any misclicks or any shots on the minion, just the shielding from Renata being just enough to keep her alive. I guess taking into account that she did have bailout, wouldn't have worked regardless, but you know, I still like the idea. Unfortunately, it does put him quite a bit behind in a lane that they were already kind of losing, even with the flash being blown early. This really puts Misfortune and Renata in a really good position. Might be able to just perma push at this rate.
Yeah, well, and they have the advantage that the wave is pushing in towards them. Maokai looks like he wants to set up for a gank, though. Flash is in.
Goes for the flash.
He's
unable to get it on the Ashe. Settles for the Braum.
Yep, Braum's going to get chunked out here. He should be able to fall. There he goes. Renata picks up the kill. Misfortune turning around to hit some minions. Not quite sure why, but she needs to book it out. Ashe is going to pick up a kill. Sejuani gets one. There. Ashe gets the second. And Renata's going to be able to make it out of that one. Just clean.
A very quick comeback coming up. Is it going to be a tower dive here? No flash on either. Great ult to buffer through that E. I mean, that was just an amazing play from the set there. Very nice tower dive. But moving a bit more towards the bottom lane there, it was a very nice, very quick adaptation coming in from the Sejuani, moving down to the bot side, protecting them in that 2v3, turning it into a 3v3. They can actually win there. As quickly as they got the lead, they lost the lead right away. Ashe and Braum are now back in control.
Yeah, they definitely were able to pick up something really good there. I believe, if I pull up the gold really quick, that right there just evens out all the gold that they had lost earlier in the lane. Renata was able to pick up all the kills, but those assists really add up. And Renata almost 1,000 gold up. That's a lot of money. Unfortunately, not in the player that you'd want it to go, but Lord of Penguins definitely has some skill. He's going to be able to rush over towards that first item. Tier 2 boots is really relevant against something like an Ashe Braum that want to try to chase you down and keep you slow. So definitely going to be able to help them out in that lane. And I don't think that Ashe is going to be flashing forward for too many more kills from here forward.
Yeah, and I would have to say it's a bit unfortunate that Renata got all 3 kills. She's one of the supports, at least for me, when I play her, I feel as though there's not a single good item in which I want to buy. That money just feels so useless. She's probably going to go for Warmogs here, as we can see. I can't remember the name of that item. Oh, Lucian popping flash still has his ult. No, Galio flashes out. We'll see in the bottom lane at 3v2. Not too much to talk about here. They kind of just got caught out. Very nice gank from the Sejuani. No return kill. Will Renata be able to get out? Yeah, no, she will.
Yeah.
Only 0 for 1. It's still going to hurt. That's going to be a pretty good wave that's going to push in here. Ashe is going to get more plates. This is a very tough lane for this bottom side here. Sejuani is really making a lot of plays happen down here.
Yeah, and both supports walk away there with like 10 health. It was a very scary fight for both sides. And it's just a tough thing. You know, your jungler is out taking camps away from the enemy. And because of that, you're going to lose a kill and you're going to lose a dragon because of it. So it's just a matter of, will Miniman be able to clean up the gold disadvantage from this trade, or is Blade making the right move here? It feels like Blade's making the right move, because even without the dragon, Like, picking up 400 or 300 gold from that kill is definitely going to be worth it. And putting it in the hands of your Ashe, who is supposed to be your main carry, like, that's irreplaceable. You need that gold funneled into your ADC as best as you can. So I would not be surprised if we see Sejuani wrap around after taking these camps to go for another gank.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of just a natural course that the Sejuani would take here. The top lane is already winning 2-0, up 30 CS, which is kind of insane against Mordekaiser's set. Lucian, Galio, not much is going to happen here. The best you could do is stop the bleeding. So the only real way you can go is bot side. I'm just very surprised that they knew that their Maokai over on Meow side was top side getting the grubs and going into their jungle. We know the Sejuani is bot side, and they're still trying to make something happen, pushing down in that bot side there, getting punished really for not either being aware or being too arrogant to what that Sejuani can do.
Yeah, you see Galio tries to go in there for the taunt, doesn't quite get in range, and just ends up taking out more damage. Renata doing a good job at just kind of roaming around, getting some pressure on the map. Just letting the enemy bot lane push up towards the tower. And Maokai's making his way down here as well. We might be able to see an engage here. We'll see if they decide to take it.
It kind of looks like he's just covering for him. Renata does have a pretty interesting angle here. Does pop the ult. Braum stops it. Does get the flash off. Tanks everything. Gets himself out. Very nice peel coming in from the Braum there.
Yeah, just making sure that Misfortune ult is not a threat whatsoever. Was able to deal some decent damage, but just quite enough.
Oh my goodness.
Hollister girl going in. Holly with the quick dashes, making sure she's not getting taunted.
On this. She's dodged every E we've seen so far. Actually crazy.
Oh, Ashe ult goes in. Good cleanse from Dr. Guillotine.
Very nice. And, max range Sejuani ult. Will it be enough to slow from Ashe's insane bailout is there? But, wait, no, the tower dive. She's going to live.
Not even going to need it. Maokai is going forward. He's not done yet. But with his misfortune as low as she is, I don't think he wants to take that next fight. Yeah, I'm just going to back out.
Man, I wish my junglers in solo queue were this aware of what's currently going on. Every single time a 3v1, 3v2, something like that is coming, the other jungler is there to even it out, cover the lane, get a return kill. I mean, there's a lot of action going on in this bot side, and we're going to have to attribute it to both of these junglers here. Playing very well.
Yeah, it's definitely a bloodbath in the bot lane, but as much action as we've seen, I feel like we should have seen a lot more kills. Both teams are doing a really good job at not overcommitting to any one fight, just going in, doing their damage rotation, getting their spells on cooldown, and then realizing if the fight's going south, they back out before it's too late. And just summoner spells being used, but that's exactly what they're there for.
We'll have to see if there's actually any action in this top side here. Second set of grubs is coming in. Maokai is going to go over there. Set's actually TPing down bot. They're going to give it up. See if they can make a play on this tower dive in bot side. A lot of damage being put out right before the tower dive. It seems as though they might have been aware. They traded early. Set's still going to go for it, though. Pops the ult. Bailout is still aware. Misfortune's going to be using her Q onto the Ashe. It's barely not going to be enough. A very clean tower dive. It was looking kind of shaky there. Both of the bottom lane there extremely low, but the Set closing it out, getting both kills.
Yep, that's going to be a lot of gold in his pocket. And if we head over to the gold tab, he is almost 1,500 gold up on his opponent right now. That is an insane gap. And yeah, we have about 1,000 gold up on our support, and we have about 1,000 gold up on our mid lane, but this Set is single-handedly keeping that game alive for his team. Just making sure he's pumping out lots of not just damage, but tons of lane pressure. Imagine being Misfortune and Renata. You're not even safe under your own tower from the enemy top laner. Like, you have Sejuani in your lane. You have Galio ult at any time. You have a Set who's willing to TP and tower dive you from behind. Like, that's a lot of pressure that you have to try to deal with in one go. I would hate to be in Dr. Guillotine's position in this moment.
And I mean, usually it's that bottom lane that's doing the tower dive and all the lane swaps that we see in professional play. Getting a taste of their own medicine here as they're the ones getting tower dove under their own tower. How unfortunate. Now, we'll have to see what this Set does, and we'll have to see what this top laner can do. Had an opportunity to kind of even out the CS, only 12 down now, but now the Set's kind of just bullying him at this point. Half the health in one combo, and oh my goodness, the ADCs are pushed up quite a bit in this bot side here. Lucian behind, dodging that Braum shield, able to take him out very cleanly. For some reason, the Galio is still going in. The Ashe might be able to get something. A triple taunt here. A lot of damage coming in, but the Ashe knows that she has to back out. Unable to do anything with that Lucian. Full health. ready to go in. The Galio is unfortunately going to have to sacrifice his own life there, making sure the Ashe was able to get out. A clean 2-for-0 over for Team Meow.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to grab a dragon right off spawn for that. Really does them good for not just the current game, but for the future game as well. Pushes that soul point further along. And I think that that's what they want. I think they've got the late game advantage here. Like we were talking about the ADCs being able to build LDR or Cyrilda's Grudge, if you're Lucian's case maybe. Oh, and Maokai ult's coming in. They're flying in. Oh, good cleanse from XRS.
Coming in, but the flash Q coming in from Anata there. Nice W coming in from the Maokai. Despite an amazing cleanse, they have more than enough CC. Turn it around. No dashers on Ashe. I mean, just punish her where you see it.
Yeah, Miniman flashing out that Galio Q, a little questionable. But other than that, super clean plays from Team Meow. Like, just making sure that this poor Ashe is not getting the tools that she needs to carry the game.
And I'm very happy to see the synergy here coming in from Team Meow here. All of them on the same page, shut down this Ashe. Everyone is right there ready to lock her down. The flash Q coming in from the Renata, the flash W coming in from the Maokai there, making sure that we can stop the bleeding and we can get to that late game that we so desperately need.
Yeah, well, and it's tough too because like XRS played that fight exactly how he was supposed to. Made sure to cleanse immediately after that Maokai ult landed. It just wasn't enough. Was under the tower, wasn't overextended. It just, when you got 3 people flying at you with 4 sets of CC, there's only so much you can do to dodge it.
What is the... Okay, he's able to live a bit longer, but he sets up the set ult there. He does pop the ult on who is that? I'm unable to tell. But right now the front line really blocking out the Lucian there. Oh, he did hit the Sejuani there. Is able to win that 1v1, but kind of putting his team in a really bad spot here. He was really the only front line there. Lucian's still able to actually get some kills there on the backside. And the Ashe is able to kill the Mordekaiser. The flash Q coming in. Is it going to be enough? No. Able to get out. A bit dangerous. Galio has to go out as well. Actually, despite that Mordekaiser ult, they are able to clean up the fight. The Lucian playing extremely well, kiting the set backwards, able to take the kill on him and the Braum as well. It was a 3-for-2.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 3-for-1.
Yeah, no, that was really cleanly played by Nyan Garde. Good job to the Mordekaiser, realizing his role in this fight is going to be removing that Sejuani, making sure that the enemy jungler not only can't CC his team, but can't secure that Rift Herald afterwards as well. And Dr. Guillotine also did a really good job at spacing in that fight, making sure that her ultimate was being used to kill 2 people at the same time, making sure she didn't overcommit her auto attacks so that she didn't get caught out by the CC that the JDS just has stacked on stacked. So shout out to Guillotine, making sure that she's not overstepping in those fights. Something as an ADC main myself, it's really difficult to judge when you should be hitting somebody and when you should be walking away. But I got to give her the props where I see it. That was very clean spacing from her, and it gave her some gold in her pocket. I believe she got a double kill out of that, so tons of gold, which if we tab over to the screen, actually puts her ahead of XRS now, almost 400 gold up, including her team, who's all ahead. Don't think there's a single lane that's actively behind right now.
Yeah, very minimal, though. As a team, only around 1-2K up. Not really that big of a lead, but any lead when you're trying to play for this late game is extremely huge here. BT going to be the first item for the misfortune here. I mean, you know, it's an item you could build first. I mean, I could see it. I'm kind of interested to see, I guess, the reasoning as to why. Most likely safety, just wants to keep herself alive. Means the ults are significantly weaker than where they actually could be with a single item. You could go Collector or IE first to really make that ult pop, but I guess we're waiting for the 2 or 3 item power spike. I definitely don't hate it here. Actually, an extremely nice timing on the ult there, getting the set right as he comes out of ultimate there, but the Ashe is right behind, trying to capitalize on it. The very nice Braum ult, able to stop it, and the Sejuani ult as well to lock down the Mordekaiser. Really, I guess a game of vision there as Ashe and Sejuani were able to come out of the jungle there, land their ults, and really shut down that bottom lane.
Yeah, and the layered CC made it to where either Guillotine or Picken were going to be able to make it out of that one. Rift Herald dropping the bot lane. They're going to be able to put some pressure up, matching the top side effort. It looks like we're going to trade tower for tower. And we got Mini-Man riding the Rift. Does get the landing on the tower. I gotta say, man, riding that Rift's a lot harder than it looks, so I always get a little nervous when I see the players hop in and pilot.
Yep, and they are able to get 2 towers, burn the flash from Galio there. Galio not having flash, not as impactful as it used to be when he was able to flash W, but still could be a fight starter, flashing in and then holding W, forcing flashes from everyone else. Pretty impactful summoner spell. Galio's going to be, going to be pretty tough for him to be able to do anything in these fights. But trading 2 towers for 2 there, I guess not too bad, I guess, for either team, bottom and top side respectively, but they do have the opportunity to set up for this dragon here. Having first pick with Maokai is extremely powerful. Will he be able to walk in here?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to burn this fast enough if JDS wants to go in. They burn the Maokai ult to try to keep him away. Cleanse off on the Misfortune. Good job. She's trying to get some spacing for her ult, but the ult's not quite up yet. Galio comes flying in, does some damage. Got the bailout from Misfortune, but the timing of it is not quite good enough. Holly in the background trying to do some damage on Lucian. Doing a little bit of damage to Sejuani, but just trying to kite it out. 1, 2, 3. Gets the kill with the Kraken. Dashes forward to kill the Braum, and Braum's down 2. Set's still alive. She doesn't want to take that fight. She's going to have to back out here, and Renata's going to join her as they run away. That's a clean 4 deaths on JDS. And the Dragon's still alive. Not
they might actually go for it.
Yeah, Set's going
Very
forward.
nice Q coming in from Renata. No, I mean, just too much health on this Set. Too little health on both of these guys. The Set's just going to body block the Dragon here, making sure they have to reset first.
Yeah.
4 for 3. Very nice. Oh, he's actually going to start it himself.
Yeah.
Drag it out. No jungler on either side, but he knows that they have to recall here.
Yeah, Nyan Garde doesn't have any vision on this dragon. They actually have no idea what Set was doing at that time. And I respect them for not wanting to walk forward. I do think it was the right move to just back out there. Would have been too greedy. Set, especially as far ahead as he is just way too big of a threat. Actually, having built the Hull Breaker as well, that's a potentially scary pick here. You start seeing Set hit the side lanes, and you got to respect him setting 2 people.
And he does build that Stride Breaker first, making him a lot tankier than you would think on 2 items. Very decent Renata ult, hitting 3. Braum is able to block quite a bit of it there. Uses his ult to disengage. Braum is going to get pulled back. He is going to take his life. Sejuani going to be using the ult just to disengage there. Not really able to get anything started. 1 for 0, and they're able to start the dragon on it. You can see Renata just trying to stop Banks, pull, really peel as often as she can. Get the second dragon here. Not much that they can do besides maybe go for the steal. Maokai ult shuts him out entirely. Does hit the Sejuani. Do they want to go for it? No. Q's out. And they actually do see the Set. That was a greedy back. But not much to push off if he is able to get out. That'll just be a free dragon.
Yep, going to lose a little bit of time on that Set recall, but not too much. And, yeah, Team Nyan Garde just doing a good job at utilizing their spells to combo into one another. Like, we see the, oh, crud, what's the Renata ultimate called? Can I hover?
Please don't try
Hostile Takeover. I knew
Hostile Takeover.
Hostile Takeover, combining with the bullet time from Misfortune. You think I'd have done my homework, but I don't get paid enough for that. But yeah.
I don't remember any name whatsoever. They're all very weird.
But yeah, Lord of Penguin's been doing a really good job with these Hostile Takeovers. We've seen a lot of ultimates coming out from him where you get 2 or 3 people, and in that case, I think we got almost 4, maybe all 5. It was definitely a 4-man for sure. And you combo that in with a Misfortune ultimate, and even with a Braum wall up, like, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's true. The Misfortune was able to half health the Braum just off of that Hostile Takeover, getting the Set out of the fight as well, even if not for damage, just for that spacing. Like I said, the BT first item really means that ult isn't doing as much as it rightfully could be, but it means that the Misfortune is a lot safer than she rightfully should be at a single item here, and we can see it working dividends as she's able to kite as well as she is able to do, keep herself alive as often as she can, and do as much damage as possible with how much uptime that she has as well. We'll see them kind of positioning more around this Baron side, able to steal that blue buff. Not really a reason for it, just get the extra gold, prevent them from getting their blue buff as well. Yeah. We'll see if they can get anything started on this Baron here.
Yeah, I think Nyan Garde just wants to try to stay grouped up, want to make sure that nobody's getting picked off, especially with all the CC that Jax's Daycare service is offering up. You can't be off by yourself. 1 stun lands to 2, lands to 3, lands to your death. And the Maokai ult comes in with the Hostile Takeover. That's 1-2. Here comes bullet time, but it gets knocked up by the Braum ult. Good job coming in from Roll for Initiative. But they're not done yet. Miniman trying to back out from the Ignite, but there's too much damage coming in from Nyan Garde. They're going to have to run away. Ult comes in from Holly, but another Braum wall is going to make sure that none of the damage comes through.
Still going to be enough to take the kill, though. Very nice.
And they're going to back off straight to Baron on that probably as they go.
Yeah, and I really like the way that they actually played that one out. Misfortune and Lucian, neither of them are that great at taking Baron, so use what they have, these very strong team fighty ults, try and pick off whoever they can. They did notice that the set was in the side lane. One of their big members, a lot of gold is on that set here. They know that they can win that 4v4, and they take full advantage of it. Cleaning house, and now they get pretty much a free Baron in the set, just getting stopped from Mordekaiser. All he has to do is EQ the wave, press W on that set damage, and he can live under tower as long as he needs to.
Yeah, set winning these trades against the Mordekaiser, but at the end of the day, if you can't force him back to recall, then your pushing pressure is not high enough. And it's tough, too, because on the top side of the map, if Maokai hits R, there's not much you can do to really dodge that. You kind of have to take the fight. And so Nyan Garde doing a good job at just keeping up the pressure and fighting on their terms. They do not want to let speaking of letting themselves get caught out, we have a clean Ashe ult coming in mixed with the Braum passive. That's going to be a kill on Dr. Guillotine. And
yeah, very interesting pick there. Knowing that the rest of the team was in the side lane, just trying to clear that wave. Unfortunately for her, Ashe does have an ultimate that stuns you for 17 years. So, despite being under tower, very clean kill. Mordekaiser is going to get the flash ultimate on the Ashe, though. Does dodge the Q here. We'll see what she can do. Apparently, the stun was back up. She just used that ultimate. I have no idea how Mordekaiser got stunned in his ultimate. But I guess it happened. Mordekaiser is down. Meanwhile, on the top side, we see the 3v2 taking place. They are going to get one kill. It's going to be a bit tough to trade towers, though. All of them are extremely low. Very nice pick coming in from Team JDS here in that mid lane, taking out both the Misfortune and the Mordekaiser there. Very nice usage of their resources there, especially with that Baron up. Able to kind of just stop all momentum there, all pacing. That might be the end of the Baron buff altogether.
yeah, and that Lucian, Hollister girl 92, is really doing well in these fights. And I know some of these fights may seem really close, but a lot of the damage that she's putting out is just unnatural. 8-0-4 on that Lucian is nothing to sneeze at. We're almost at 3 items, working on the Muramane probably. And you can't ignore her, and you can't ignore Guillotine in the background with the bullet time either. You have to focus both. And unfortunately, they're not stacking with one another. So you got to put your ultimates into somebody.
But a good dodge from Lucian there. We can see maybe they're trying to get something started. The Sejuani trying to flash to get on that Lucian. Unable to do it. Renata and Maokai are just a bit too good at tanking. Misfortune walking up and pressing the ultimate. Getting absolutely shut down there. 2 kills for the Ashe there. She's having a clean fight here. A lot of peel is going to be able to get the W on 3 here. So much space is for this Ashe here. She gets another. She gets 3. She gets 4. It's just going to be the Lucian up, and now the range is really going to bite him as the Ashe is able to slow him, shut him down. A triple kill for her and an ace for Team JDS.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold in Exaros's pocket. Not only does he get the triple kill, but 1,000 gold shutdown on Hollister Girl, like we were just talking about. Couple that with a dragon on the way out and a big fat bot wave for him to farm. Oh, he's going mid. He's going to give it to Galio. That's still a lot of gold. If we tab over, we can see 3,000 gold up on Misfortune. That is nothing to laugh at. That is a full item right there. A full Kraken Slayer, full Phantom Dancer.
Ooh, and actually up items on the Misfortune there. And we can see just how these fights can really play out if everything does, in fact, go right for Team JDS. The comp, we were talking a lot of trash about this comp. To be fair, if the Ashe lives, she does a lot of damage. The only issue is the fact that they do have opportunities to get on that Ashe. But if they don't, we can really see the power coming in from that Ashe there. Just a one-man killing machine. With all the peel and the opportunity that the team has given her, she was able to shine, take pretty much everyone out one at a time here. And just with ruthless precision there. Able to go up to 11-4 now. 3 items getting a BF sword. She's going to be going BT 4th item. And I do have to talk about it because it is a huge pet peeve of mine. Not a single ADC in this game has gone rapid fire cannon. Thank God.
Yeah, not going to be necessary for this fight. 1, 2, boom. Set gets the ultimate with the bullet time in the background's not going to be high enough. Maokai ult comes flying in from the top just to dissuade them from further going in. But yeah, Lord of Penguins and Hollister Girl both going down in that fight. That's 2 deaths. No objective timer is going to be up right now for them to take, but they're going to enjoy the gold in their pocket either way.
Yeah, maybe Lord of Penguins needed a rapid fire cannon there. Kind of just walked up and without a lot of rhyme or reason there, once again popping the ult kind of in their faces, getting instantly punished for it, bursted down and leaving the Lucian all in his lonesome. The Maokai just a bit too far to provide the peel that he needs to get out. 2 free kills and a free push into the mid lane. We'll see if they're able to get any towers here or if they just want the positioning.
Yeah, one thing that JDS has going for them is they have so many ways to start a fight, meaning that they aren't relying on one single player to be in position. They could have just about anybody on their team in position, which doesn't leave a lot of room for Nyan Garde. If you overstep for a ward or for a Q or anything of the like, you had better be ready to flash or dodge that stun, because if you don't, exactly what we just saw happens. You get 1, 2, 3 popped. That set ult comes flying in, takes you into the backline. You don't want a hole breaker, stride breaker set wailing on your illusion and your misfortune on the backline. You just can't have it.
And I gotta say that JDS is just playing really well around these cleanse timers. Both of the ADCs having the wherewithal to know, obviously, you're going to take cleanse into this matchup here. But when that cleanse is down, we can see them going pretty much all in. And the Ashe is really landing these Ashe ultimates here, whatever that name is on that thing.
The Enchanted
Ashe
Crystal Arrow.
Nah, I'm not saying that nonsense.
That one
Ashe
I do know.
Ashe ultimate, very long stun, even at semi-close ranges here. We can see that the Ashe, I mean, she's just landing every single ultimate, and when that Ashe ult lands, it's a free Braum ult, it's a free Sejuani ult, it's a free something that comes after to layer that CC, give Ashe more than enough time to do all the damage she needs to take him out. And with Lucian's cleanse coming back up, we'll have to see if they're aware of that as well, and if they decide to focus the misfortune as well. But so far, they're playing very well around these cleanse timers.
Yeah, Nyan Garde just trying to get some vision and control over this Baron. And it looks like they are going to start it up. Kind of risky, but they see Holy Ninja in the bot lane trying to push in on their towers, and they think they can burn it before it gets too dangerous in their base. Hostile Takeover and the Maokai ult are both going to be ready. Oh, but Renata may not get a chance to do it. She finally pushes it off. Bullet time comes in, but gets interrupted by the set ultimate. Galio comes flying into the back, and the good set W takes out Hollister Girl in the back. That's too much damage for them to deal with. Good TP in from the set, and Maokai is going to go down as well. They may have gotten the Baron, but they aren't going to get much else afterwards. Picking the only player to be able to recall and keep the buff alive.
And that might be the game. That was an amazing set flash coming in. He actually flashed to the right there, completely aware of Lucian's movements there. I believe that was blind. They didn't have any ward on him there. Flashing to the right just to get that max range W through the wall. Absolutely insane to shut him down there. Will it be enough? No Baron buff, just a couple minions. Mordekaiser not going to have his ult. He's going to need to clear this wave. Will it be enough? No, they absolutely destroy him under the tower. That's going to be the game here. Renata not able to do much. A great stun, but wow, what a game and what a consolidation coming in from JDS here. They're going to take the W.
Yeah, shout out to Jax's Daycare Services. They had a little bit of a rough intro. That mid game was getting a little shaky, but you got to give it to them. As they started getting their hands on their ultimates, they made sure to let everybody know that they were not out of the game. And honestly, as we looked at the gold score from between both teams, it never really was out for either team. They were almost neck and neck within 1,000 or 2 of each player. A little bit of ups and downs. But, yeah, that was a really solid game from our players. Shout out to everyone that was involved. You all did
that was
amazing.
A really good first game to watch, actually. I really did enjoy that. I think both teams actually played to their strengths extremely well. Unfortunately, it was just one slight mistake coming in from Team Meow there, trying to force down that Baron. A bit of a disconnect as the Mordekaiser did hit the Sejuani with his ult, but they weren't aware of the set TP coming in there, leaving that 4v4 where the set gets a free ultimate on all of them, getting a very nice ult, getting the E for the stun, and all the layering that comes on top of that. Just not enough peel to really get out of that Baron pit, even after they bursted it down.
Yeah, that was really solid. And we're going to go ahead and try to pull in one of these players in for a quick interview here. But, chat, I'm going to need you guys to let us know who you want us to talk to. We just saw 5 amazing players on the winning team and 5 amazing players on the losing team, all of which performed really, really well. I think for me, if I was going to recommend somebody, I would recommend... I think we got to give it to Holy Ninja. That set gameplay in the early laning phase really gave them a lot of good pressure that they were able to utilize, not just in the early game, but all throughout the game. And if I was going to give an MVP for the losers team, I'd have to go with Hollister Girl. That Lucian was really, really clean. Got an early lead from laning phase, but was able to take those team fights in the mid to late game really, really well, pumping out tons of damage. That 31,000, almost the most in the entire game. Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, if I had to give an MVP, words are so hard. If I had to give it to an MVP, I probably would have given it to, honestly, one of the junglers there. I really do think that Maokai and the Sejuani, both of them were kind of underrated in how much impact that they had throughout the entire game. Early game, both of them actually just fighting back and forth in that bot side, doing a great job at recognizing great timings, recognizing when the other jungler had great timings and coming in for the peel, turning fights and really allowing the game to be as volatile as it was. And then in that mid and late game, Sejuani being able to capitalize on these Ashe ults. I will say these Ashe ults were absolutely insane. And the Maokai actually having really good engage and really good peel as well. I'd have to give it maybe to Blade King. We could do the obvious and give it to XRS. I mean, 13-4, the Ashe winning one of the most crucial team fights in that mid game there. Or we could even just give it over to the set there. I mean, amazing TP in that final fight there, and amazing W at the end there to close it out for the team. There's a lot of good prospects for the MVP this game.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to see if I can get a quick poll running in the chat, if I can figure out how it works, and then we'll see who you guys want to vote on. We'll see if we can drag that person in. Holy Ninja and Set seems like is already the two people that are being voted on. And I can't seem to figure out how to start a poll to save my life. How did you do it earlier?
That's a great question. Well, I did a prediction. I don't know. Let me figure out a poll.
I feel like I should be able to figure this out, but I just can't.
Can I just do /poll?
Is that a thing? I will need to Google this later. But I think for now, everyone can kind of agree that Holy Ninja is the one we want to bring in. I see 2 votes for the set already, so we'll go ahead and see if we can message the player and ask them if they're willing to do a quick interview.
Absolutely, go for it.
I see a lot of the players from the team still online, so... And, yeah, they're going to be ready to roll. We're going to go ahead and drag them in really quick. Let's see if we can scare them a little bit.
Yoink.
Not going to give them any prep time. Just going to bring them right in. And there they are. What's going on?
Yo.
Dude, nice gameplay, man. That was really, really clean.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I tried.
So we got a few questions for you, and I didn't write any of them down. So I'm going to go off the top of my head. Mesa, if you got a question or two you want to throw in there, feel free to tag in. But first thing I want to say is, like, how do you think that the early laning phase went? Because from our standpoint, it felt like it was kind of a stomp. Did you ever feel like you were like your back was against the wall, or that you were trying to keep up with jungle pressure or anything like that?
So I knew the Set versus Mordekaiser matched up like the back of my hand because I played it and I watched it on repeat. So I knew that the Mordekaiser had a weaker early game than Set from the bat because because of their distinctive kits. And I'm somebody who is before they changed the mastery system, I had basically nearly 700k mastery points on Mordekaiser. So like I said, the Mordekaiser versus Set matchup, I knew like the back of my hand. I knew what to do, I knew what not to do, and I knew when to abuse the Mordekaiser at his weakest point and snowball my lane. My biggest problem was the jungler. I didn't want the Maokai to all of a sudden show up out of nowhere and just bring down my flow. So I always kept the Maokai in mind, and if you recall, every chance I got, I always wanted to make sure I knew where the Maokai was, so I always were at his red side.
Yeah, we noticed the Maokai and Sejuani were both playing around the bot side of the map, trying to get both their ADCs snowballed, so it felt like you kind of got a free lane. Once you got that early lead, it was kind of unnatural to see you just walk up and take Mordekaiser to half health before he could even respond with a Q. Kind of scary.
Yeah. Like I said, I knew the matchup. Like, the back of my hand, so I just knew what to do, and I knew he couldn't do much against me, especially after that, like, first blood, those first couple of kills. The lane was essentially over.
Yeah. Well, another question I had for you. I saw you built the Hull Breaker around the mid game, and I'm assuming the intention was to split push with it, but we never really got to see you hard split push with it. There was the Baron fight where you were able to pick up the bot tower, but it seemed like Mordekaiser was doing a good job at wave clearing you as you were trying to push out the minions. Do you feel like that the Hull Breaker was still the right move, or was that kind of an investment towards a strategy that didn't pan out the way it was intended?
Looking back, the Hull Breaker was probably a bad move, but I built the Hull Breaker and I communicated to my team. I say, hey guys, I have a Hull Breaker and I would really love to use it. So I try to communicate that with my team, and we altered our strategy around the fact of me split pushing because I was severely far ahead. They needed to send 2 or 3 people to deal with me. I wanted to be this split push presence, this threat that they know damn well they couldn't put Mordekaiser against me at all. So that's what I wanted with the Hull Breaker. Hindsight, Hull Breaker was a bad idea, and I probably could have built another item. Like I could have probably built my Sterix out the bat. Probably would have helped me survive against the Lucian longer. Now that I think about it, that probably would have been a better idea. But it's all speculation.
Yeah, I mean, you ended up getting the victory screen anyway, so at the end of the day, that's what matters. Man, yeah, shout out to y'all's team. Y'all had a really good hard engage comp, and y'all were able to combo CC really well together. We saw some really great ultimates from you, taking in the front line, taking them to the back line, and just using your lead with your stride breaker and your W to just clean house on the back lines. So solid gameplay, man. It was really clean. The only other question I really have is was there any point in the game where you guys felt like y'all were losing? Because it felt like to us from the spectators' call that the games were pretty close. Like we were always within 1,000 gold of each other. There was never really a solid, like, overwhelming lead aside from the Lucian. But I'm curious if, coming at it from the player's perspective, you don't always get to see the team gold and where each of the funnels are going. So did it ever feel like to you guys that you all were like losing or your back was against the wall, like as a team?
Yeah, and what were the comms like when that was happening?
I didn't feel that we were losing, but I strongly felt that we were squandering and losing our lead. The main problem that we all identified was the Lucian. The Lucian was like 804 at a point in the game.
Yeah.
Like they just were not dying at all. And I wanted that Lucian dead on sight as soon as possible. Misfortune, yeah, sure, but she really wasn't an issue for me. Like every time the Misfortune got a kill, it's when they got softened up by Mordekaiser or by Maokai. Or by Renata. That's the only time Misfortune got a kill. I didn't really deem Misfortune as much of a threat. Lucian was just the number 1 threat. So as for did we feel like we were losing? No, I don't think we at any point felt like we were losing. And we communicated what we should be doing, how our ult should be layered, and who our primary targets are. And we just took home the win doing that.
As you should, man. Clean, professional comms is what we like to hear in these tournaments. Awesome, dude. Well, good gameplay. Nice work for your team. Jax's Daycare service takes the first victory of the weekend. Is there anything else you want to say? Any shout-outs you want to give before we sign off for the night?
I would like to very much thank my team for allowing me to play with them. The communications were very, very clean. I really like communicating where I should be going, what I should be doing, and just bouncing off quick ideas of what we should be doing and how the game should be going forward. And I look forward to more games with them. So
yeah, we look forward.
It's really fun playing with them.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing more games with y'all as well. I know we're going to be trying to bounce around to showcase some other teams' matches, but inevitably you guys are going to end up back on the stream, I'm sure. So when that happens, we're looking forward to seeing some good gameplay from you guys again.
Yeah. And there is one player in mind that I want to say that I'm coming for, but for the sake of suspense, I'm not going to name them at all. Let's say that I'm coming for your ass.
Okay.
Period.
They know who they are?
They know who they are.
They know who they are. All right, well, I like drama, but we'll put a pin in it for now. Hopefully we get to hear it from the other top laners or the other laners that he knows who he is. And we'll be able to hear from that soon. But, Holy Ninja, thanks for coming in. Thanks for hopping in. We're going to go ahead and sign off really quick. But those of you guys who are watching, thanks for tuning in for the first stream. Looking forward to being able to do this every week, showcase a match or two from the tournament bracket. If you are on the tournament and you want to be showcased on the stream, feel free to DM me, Zach Warlock, on Discord. Like, I'm open to, trying to make my schedule work with you guys. So if we can line up 2 or 3 games at the same time, I'm down to run 2 or 3 games back to back. But I understand teams have different schedules and whatnot, so it may not always work out. But it doesn't hurt to shoot me a message and ask. I'm also in the team captains chat, so if you have your captain on your team, you can always have them reach out to me as well. I'm trying to be responsive of that. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Maceo, do you have anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, that'll be it. Thank you for coming in, Holy Ninja. We do appreciate that interview.
Thank you very much for bringing me in. Hope to see you guys again.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Of course.
And those of you guys watching, I'll see you guys same place, probably different time, but stay tuned in the Discord. I'll always make sure to try to ping when we go live so you guys know when the matches are coming out. And like I said, if you want to see a specific team, let me know. I'm open to everything. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, thanks for tuning in. Good night.